Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness here. Today's topic, I got an idea for this, and it's kind of a coincidence because I was considering addressing this topic at least in a couple different videos. And I had a conversation with Omar Issoff yesterday on Facebook, and he asked me about this topic, and he said I should make a video on it when I gave him my answers. So I'm going to do that for you guys. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. So the thing is, the whole conversation is the way that goes, and the questions I get asked is, why do guys who are bros look so much better than the science guys? And I'm actually kind of in the middle ground there because I do a lot of heavy lifting and powerlifting and train with chains and stuff that some people would consider meathead stuff that I consider science. But I do have a science background. I was a science major at university. So kind of understand what goes on with both groups. And so oftentimes the topics of why do guys who do body part splits is what people will say often look better than guys who do full body programs. Or why do people who follow bro diets look better than the if it fits your macros crowd? And I hate that term, by the way. I prefer flexible dieting, which is what it was called 10 to 15 years ago, and they changed it to if it fits your macros recently, which is a moronic acronym. It doesn't even accurately portray the topic. So why is that? Well, first of all, it's simply a matter of statistics. If you take the best science guys, the guys who actually do the stuff that I talk about and others talk about as far as using actual proper science and understanding of things like protein synthesis and so on in their training programs, and people who understand that it is calories in and calories out and macros that are the primary factors that determine changes in body composition in your diet, things like this. When you take the best of those guys, they look just as good as the best of the other guys. And it's an issue of the reason people see it is a few reasons. One, the bros vastly outnumber them. So even if twice as high of a percentage of the people who follow the science stuff actually get results because it is slightly more efficient, they only make up around 5% of the training world. The other 95% are what people would call bros and people who use bro science. So if only 10% of them end up looking good, the top 10%, only 5% of the bros look good, they're still outnumbering them 10 to 1. So you're going to meet 10 times as many people who have successfully applied this stuff and gotten results as a result of the pure demographics and the statistics. So that's a big part of it right there. And you have to keep in mind that the majority of people, at least 90% of people who train on body part splits and who do the 6 meal a day thing and eat low glycemic index carbs mostly and things like that, the bros, 90% of them look like shit, they're tiny as fuck, and they're weak as fuck. And even half of them who use steroids are tiny and weak as fuck. And anyone who's been around the training world knows that. The vast majority of people who train and even consider themselves to train somewhat seriously, and even the vast majority of people who use anabolic drugs casually, are tiny and weak as fuck by my standards and by any serious training standards. It's only the elite of any of these groups that actually get results. It's because they're willing to consistently apply it over time, or they've got better genetics and a number of other factors. But most people who train don't get results. The thing is, the people who are more casual with it are going to get slightly faster results with less hassles around their life following the more scientific approach. Because you have to remember the other thing, the scientific approach is geared towards natural people, and even that has only changed slightly for people who are conservative in their drug use. Now, heavy drug users, a lot of the bro methods, that's where that evolved from, can work very, very well. Higher volume with lower training frequency can work extremely well with high doses of anabolics. It can produce fantastic results. It's going to produce slower results for a natural. And no one ever says it won't produce results. They're just going to be slower. It's going to take you 3 years to do what you could have done in 2 years. Doesn't mean you won't get there. But when drugs go into the mix, that sort of training method can become extremely effective. And it's the same with the food. A lot of these drugs change nutrient partitioning. They change things like de novo lipogenesis. So people who eat a fairly low-fat diet, who are on hefty amounts of anabolic drugs, are obviously going to be leaner.